What's your view of the Jubilee?
You must do it.
Must I do that alone?
There is only one Queen.
Want to know more about the Silver Jubilee that revived the Queen's popularity and swept the gloom away from Britain? Then keep watching for the fascinating true story behind the controversial event. I'm Laura Jackson, and this is Beneath the Crown. 1977, the year that marked 25 years since Queen Elizabeth II's accession to the throne. But much of the United Kingdom wasn't in the mood to get the Silver Jubilee party started.
What a mess. I mean, honestly, can you remember a time when the country was in worse shape?
Britain was struggling economically, politically and socially. There was mass unemployment, rising crime, growing racial tensions, strike after strike.
Right now, the United Kingdom is the equivalent of a patient dying on the operating table and the surgeons, no, the butchers, no, sorry, the murderers responsible for causing that death are seeking re-election.
Despite significant opposition due to the high cost, it was decided the Silver Jubilee celebrations would go ahead on June the 7th. The actual anniversary of the Queen's accession was in February, a date which would also mark 25 years since her father's untimely death. The Queen chose to push the date back to June. Enthusiasm for Jubilee Day was initially low, but as it drew nearer, the public warmed to the idea, as if it were an escape from the gloom. Suddenly, Silver Jubilee memorabilia started popping up everywhere. Lord Snowdon was tasked with designing several souvenirs.
The powers that be thought it might be nice if someone from inside the firm were to design some of the memorabilia.
Oh, Tony, you are clever.
Always happy to help my family.
Other items on offer were somewhat less conventional. You could call someone on a Jubilee phone, play someone with Jubilee cards, strike a light with Jubilee matches, and even keep your trousers up with a Jubilee belt. There was also a range of Silver Jubilee underwear. The less said about them, the better. £1,000 was given to every borough in Britain towards the celebrations. Street parties were organised up and down the nation. Decorations sprung up everywhere. There was a mood of jubilation and togetherness that harked back to the coronation.
How lovely.
Anarchic punk group the Sex Pistols launched a blistering attack on the monarchy with their song, God Save the Queen. It struck a chord with many despite being widely banned from British TV and radio. There were fears it would top the UK singles chart in Jubilee week and cause huge embarrassment. The crisis was averted when the song only reached number 2 behind unlikely royal saviour Rod Stewart's track, I Don't Want to Talk About It. Rumours persist that a record business conspiracy may have kept it off the top spot. The Queen was said to be furious about the song, although it was reported that Prince Charles found it rather amusing. But when Jubilee Day arrived on June the 7th, the nation turned to celebration. The opposition to the day was overshadowed by the estimated 10 million people who attended street parties. There were roughly 125,000 of them, with 5,000 in London alone. Not even the rain kept people away. A global audience of 500 million watched as Her Majesty took the Golden State coach from Buckingham Palace to St Paul's Cathedral, with Prince Charles following on horseback. The roar of the 1 million strong crowd meant the coachmen couldn't even hear the sound of the horses' hooves hitting the road. A carefully choreographed walkabout through London allowed spectators to indulge in a bit of chit-chat with the Queen and Prince Philip before they headed to lunch at the Guildhall. There she delivered a speech in the presence of the Lord Mayor.
My Lord Mayor, when I was 21, I pledged my life to the service of our people. I do not regret nor retract one word of it.
That night, the Sex Pistols took to the River Thames for a protest concert, which included playing Anarchy in the UK opposite Parliament. It wasn't long before they were arrested. Looking back at it, it's crazy that the sight of a golden carriage, the ultimate statement of wealth and privilege, gave so much joy to a public largely short of money. The Silver Jubilee provided an excuse for people to share something and come together on a massive scale.
There's a thing about the monarchy. We paper over the cracks. And if what we do is loud and grand and confident enough, no one will notice that all around us it's fallen apart. That's the point of us, not us. You.